Hey guys, I'm Tom Roy, and I've been skating for over 20 years. I'm here to give you all the details that you need to know to learn tricks as fast and efficiently as possible, and of course make it fun in the process. Every trick has that one tip that you should never forget. Once you know what that is, it's in the bag. Let's get into it. Welcome back, you guys. I know it's been a while. Thank you so much for bearing with me because my knee has been taking forever to recover from this injury. It's been one of the most frustrating injuries I've ever dealt with, but we're still able to do this. So today, we're gonna be learning backside 360 no-complies. I already taught frontside 180 no-complies, but for some reason, backside, going full 360 is a lot easier than just doing back 180. I think it has to do with your foot being able to get out of the way. So, let's get into it. Oh, look at that. Let's get into the foot position. For the front foot, just like I taught with frontside 180 no-complies, you want your foot way up on the board. I put my foot on those front bolts, almost to where it's touching the concave, the curve of the nose. And then you want your front toe hanging off the board, like that. Because when your toe is off the edge, it makes it a lot easier to step off after you pop. When it's a little bit too far on the board, it's gonna be way harder to step off your board. Once we get to the point of popping, I'll explain why you have to hang your toe off like that in detail. Now for the back foot. I like to keep my back foot right in the center of the tail. That's what's gonna help you snap it and keep your board level. If your toe is way off on the edge here, your board's way more prone to flip once you rotate. So keeping it in the center, that's just a good tip to remember in general if you wanna keep your board level. Now you know where to put your feet, let's get into the angle. As you're rolling up, angle is a huge factor in this trick. For me, I like to angle just a little bit to the left. I'm regular footed, so if you're goofy, you wanna go the other way. But I like to go just a little bit to the left, because that helps me get my foot further out in front of me and away from my board. If I'm angling this way, my board's gonna get in the way of my foot when I try to step off. And in a way, it helps you wind up more. You turn this way and your board's winding this way, and it helps you just get that full rotation. You got your foot position down, now you got the angle down. Next comes the shoulders. Also very important part of this trick is how far you twist your shoulders up before you pop. You gotta really twist for this trick. So as you're rolling up, twist your shoulders. Look how twisted I am, I haven't even popped my board yet. You twist so far, then pop. That's where you step your foot off. And with this trick, it's gonna be hard to get the entire no-comply 360. I usually do 270 and then I pivot the rest of it. Now comes the pop. You have that front foot up on the edge of the board for this reason. Right before you go, you start leaning over that front wheel, pushing down on this side of the board. That's what's gonna help your foot step off this way and get your board out in front of you. Watch this one in slow-mo so you can see how my front foot is pushing down on that edge. Right before you pop, you want to be leaning way out this way with your body, much more than you would for a normal trick. For this trick, it's unique in that you have to lean so far out to get your foot way out here when you step off and out of the way. Look how far out my body leans. But see, my foot gets out of the way of the board. Notice, by the time I pop and snap my tail, my foot is way out here and I'm already facing this way. So you gotta get ahead of it, start looking in the direction you're gonna go, and your legs will follow. And now comes the timing of the pop, which is the hardest part of this trick. If you can get this figured out, you're most likely able to get this trick down. Unlike no-comply 180s, this trick's a little different in that you step off a little bit later. So with no-comply front 180s, you step off about the same time that you pop. But with this trick, you actually want to snap your tail before your foot even touches the ground. Watch some in slow-mo to see what I'm talking about. Like I said, your toe is already close to the ground there right before you pop. All the pressure is pushing down on that right edge. And then as you turn, you step off and then snap. If you snap too soon, you won't be able to get your foot out of the way in time. That's why you have to step off a little bit sooner for this trick. What helps me with this trick is turning really fast for the first 180, because you just got to get that board in front of you and that foot out of the way. But then for the last rotation, notice I slow down a little bit. Think 180 real fast, And then you just want to make it to about 270 and then pivot the last 90 degrees. Whip! Slow. When you come around, you want to focus on getting your back toe on the tail again. Right at about 270, because that's what's going to help you rotate the rest of the way. And if your foot misses the tail, it's going to be way harder to rotate the rest of the way and get that pivot. You're just going to go. Versus, this isn't necessarily necessary, but a good way to get used to the pivot is just by doing half cabs halfway and then pivoting that way. Lastly, when you land and pivot it all the way around, see how my shoulders kind of stay straight? If you keep turning them, you're gonna also turn. Keep those shoulders straight. That's why it actually helps to slow yourself down for the second half of the spin, is so when you ride away, you're not stuck turning this way too much. Next thing you know, you're rolling away from one of the steeziest tricks you can do on a skateboard. All right, guys, that's all we got for Backside 360 No-Complies. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments. I'm happy to answer them. And be sure to stick around for the key takeaways after this so you can screenshot them and take them home. Now that I've taught you how to do them, let's do a few. Don't leave yet. You're going to want to hang on to these key takeaways. Put your front foot way up on your board with your front toe hanging off. Put your back foot in the center of the tail. Lean over the toe side of your board with your weight down on your front toes. Lean way out as you're about to pop. Spin the first 90 degrees faster, then slow the last rotation. And lastly, face your shoulders forward as you land. See you in the next tutorial. You!